So in 1956, a World War II veteran by the name of Earl Nightingale recorded this spoken word recording that he titled The Strangest Secret. And this thing exploded. It went on to sell over 1 million copies, which was the first time up to that point in history that had ever been done by a spoken word recording. And this thing impacted generations. It ended up sparking an entire industry. But this thing is jam-packed with little nuggets, like little truths that's almost forgotten now. Just this wisdom that I guess people seem to have back then that we have forgotten now. But there's one gem in there, one little nugget of truth that I want to share with you guys today that I feel has the power to completely change the direction of your life. And I think that because I know the impact that it's had on my own life. And I think that for some of you, the ones of you who get it, like once you get it, your mind's going to be blown and you're never going to look at the world the same. So look guys, this is Chase with Energy to Conquer, and today is day 51 on my experimental journey to increasing my energy, my mental clarity, and my overall focus. Look guys, if you don't feel like you have the energy that you should have, or you just feel tired all the time, you wake up tired, you get home from work tired, like you just go to bed tired, your favorite time of the day is when you go to bed, right? You go to sleep because you're so tired all the time. If that's you guys, be sure, give me a like if you like this content. And if you want to improve, right? If you don't want to feel tired anymore, subscribe to the channel, guys. That's what this channel is about. It's here to help, and I'm providing you nuggets every single day. So guys, be sure to smash that subscribe button, and if you find value in this content, I sure would appreciate it you give it a like. If you find value, or maybe you don't find value, let me know your thoughts below. Leave me a comment. But look guys, today is a big one, right? Today is a big one. Day's 51 on this journey, and you know, working on my time management skills. And so I thought this was an important time to bring in this little nugget of truth that I think that some of you are going to like. I think it's going to change your view of the world, and that's something I feel that, like, honestly, I feel like this is going to change your view of the world because nobody talks about this stuff. But before I get into that, you know, I want to talk about this to kind of set it up, right? So Jim Rohn, and you know, that's someone I consider one of my mentors. I learned so much from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn changed my life, right? And so, you know, I never met Jim Rohn. I just listened to his recordings, but I spent hours and hours and hours just repetition over and over and over and over listening to a lot of those old recordings of his. And I think one 4-hour recording, I probably listened to that one at least 20 or 30 times at least. Like at one point in my life, I could like probably give that entire speech. Just get me started and I could probably finish it. But anyways, guys, so one of the things that Jim Rohn talked about is if you want wealth, study wealth. If you want health, study health. If you want happiness, study happiness, right? And that's so simple, and that's what Jim Rohn was. He's so simple. It's like this just wise old owl that's sitting in the tree, right? And it's like, why are we overcomplicating things, right? But here's the thing. When we look in the world today, when you look at the people who are unhappy, so just in your own life, just kind of do a, you know, just a mental check, right? And who in your life that you feel is the unhappiest, like how many of them do you think are actually seeking out information to be happy, right? I guarantee not many. And the people that are the most, I guess, I don't know what to say, unfinancial, right? The people that are most unfulfilled financial, the most miserable financially, right? The people who struggle the most with finances, who finances having the biggest impact on their life negatively. How many of those people in your own life do you know that are studying wealth, right? Or studying finances, how to better manage their finances, right? It's usually slim to none. And if anyone is, it's because they've been in a hard spot and they're saying, no way in hell I'm going back there, right? Another thing is health. You know, how many people do you know that it's in bad health that's actually studying health? They're studying diet, nutrition, they're studying fitness. I guarantee not many. And usually when people, if they do it all, right, if they start getting serious about health, the average person, it's after they've had a heart attack, right? The house is on fire already. Now it's like, oh, that's my wake-up call. I've got to do something, right? And so you know, how many of those people that's struggling with health, that's, you know, uncomfortable with their health, they're unhappy with their health, they're miserable with their health, you know, their mobility, how many of those people are actually studying health, right? How many of the people are studying wealth? How many of the people are studying happiness? Relationships, like how many people are studying relationships? People that struggle to be in relationships. We all know those people jump from relationship to relationship to relationship, right? How many of those people do you know that study relationships and how to improve relationships, how to have better relationships? I guarantee it's slim to none, right? Because if they studied this stuff, they wouldn't be in that situation. It's their lack of knowledge that's got them in this situation. So look, guys, here's the secret that I'm going to share with you today, because this week I'm time management. And the problem with time management is this: we are so conditioned as a society that, like, we become these anal, I guess, people, rigid. We live by a schedule. Like, that is so against the grain of the average person. You might as well go around telling people you're Satan, right? And maybe it's not that bad, but you get my point, right? It's like, you might as well be from Mars. People start, like, just stupid questions. It's kind of like, why do you run? It's like the same thing. Anybody that runs knows the stupid things that people say when you tell them you run, especially if you run more than a mile or two, right? So to tie that in, guys, you know, when you start managing your time and you start, people's going to get pissed off. People that don't value their own time is going to get pissed off at you when you start valuing yours, right? Because they want you to fly by the seat of your pants, and when you don't, they don't like it. And same thing, when you start getting, I've got commitments, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I can only be here for 30 minutes, I can only be on this call for 10 minutes. People are going to get upset. Some people are going to understand, some people are going to appreciate it, right? Few, but some people are going to appreciate it. Depends. If you're around a lot of business people, they're going to appreciate it. But if you're around a lot of people that are not business people, just working class people, whatever, you know, and so you can't, like, they don't appreciate it as much. But you get real busy business people, they'll appreciate it. So that's kind of an off topic, but just depending on where you're at, like, you're going to have different levels of this. So look, guys, you know, with this, you start managing your time, you start doing different things, even your fitness, you start managing your diet. You're like, you know, I can't eat pizza, I can't go to the pizza restaurant, whatever it is you're doing, right? I can't eat cupcakes at the birthday party. Like, people just start looking at you like you're from Mars. And it's the craziest thing, because here's the secret that I'm going to share with you. And this is what Earl Nightingale said. I'm going to link it below. I'm going to link it in the comments. So you guys can go check it out for yourself. This thing is packed. It's like 30 minutes or something. It's not much. But man, it's so powerful. But what had the biggest impact on me and in my life from what he says, everything he says in that recording, is this: if you ever don't know what to do in life, do the opposite of everyone else, because the majority is almost always wrong. They're almost always running off a cliff. And so, you know, go back to the Jim Rohn thing that I just said. The people that struggle the most with health, or they won't never study with health, right? The people that struggle the most with wealth, they don't study it, right? They're the last people that's going to study it. And relationships, and you can go on happiness, right? And so, you know, that little secret, like, you just look what the majority's doing. Like, if you ever don't know what to do, look at what the majority's doing and do the opposite, because the majority is almost always wrong. You can look at this in parenting, right? Like, I have used that to shape my parenting, and I feel like I've done somewhat well with my children. But, you know, I've just been the complete opposite, because, you know what, I see the experiment that everyone else is on, and I don't like the results. So what have I got to lose at this point, right? So if I'm going to do things differently, if I want my kids to respond or behave or grow up to be different, right, than the average person, then I can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. It's the definition of insanity. But here's where it gets real important. It's our health, right? When we get into our health, we start changing our health. Look at the majority. Look at what they're doing. I mean, follow the masses, right? There's nothing wrong with eating at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with eating pizza and this and that. I mean, they're just eating whatever is being thrown on them by marketers. And then when they start having health problems, they just take pills to treat the symptoms instead of actually treating the problem, the source of the problem, right? They're just treating symptoms instead of curing the source. And so you can go back and look at, I think it was day 48, 47. I did a video on that, like, you're being manipulated. You can go back and check that one out. I'll link that in the comments below. But look, guys, I mean, that's it. It's the strangest secret is, if you ever don't know what to do the opposite of everyone else. But when you start looking at the world through this lens, you're going to realize that the majority is almost always wrong, but we're all programmed and we're just so caught up in this, we're completely unaware of it. You know, and I'm not saying everything and everybody's wrong, but if you just look at what the masses are doing, it's usually wrong. And look at health. I mean, that's a great example. If you look at finances, what are most people doing? They're financing things to buy things that they can't afford. What's the saying go? When your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall, right? Right. I think that's right. Yeah. When your outflow exceeds your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall. So just let that sink in. I mean, is that not society? We're buying cars we can't afford, houses we can't afford, we're buying TVs we can't afford. And I'm not saying everybody is, but the majority of middle class, like that is the middle class lifestyle, keeping up with the Joneses, right? Most people that do make a high income or a higher income than average are just as broke as the people on the bottom, because they're financed to the hilt trying to keep up with the Joneses. Why is this? Right? That's not what wealthy people do. Warren Buffett, he still lives in a brick rancher, probably one of the richest people in the world. I know he's one of the richest people in the world. I just don't know where he's at on that list, right? He's somewhere on the list. He's still living in a brick rancher. He didn't go buy a Beverly Hills mansion over the ocean. Nothing wrong with that. He's got the money to do it if he wants to do it. But I'm just saying that's not what the super wealthy people are doing. They look at money differently than the people who are financed, like the people who are drowning in debt. Then you get in the whole debt situation. You get into divorces and just the stress and everything it causes, unhappiness, unfulfillment, suicide. Like, it's just a mess. But we never stop to look. You know, is there a better way? So guys, that's what today's video is about. You know, this week's time management. You know, last week I talked about, you know, stop not eating after 5 o'clock. And that's another thing where people just, they don't understand. It's the same thing. You're going to workout program, you're going to a diet, you start taking your diet seriously. People don't understand, right? They're never going to understand. And it's because of that. They're just following the masses. And if you don't want the same results that everyone else is getting, then you're going to have to do something different. And you're going to have to start looking at, well, everybody's doing this and we're leading the world in heart disease, cancer, diabetes, right? So we got to be just a little bit smarter than that to say, well, if this is what the average person is doing and this is the results they're getting, then obviously something's not working, right? So we're going to have to start doing the opposite of what they're doing. And that's kind of what this channel is about, is taking the road less traveled to naturally get to the source of these energy problems and why we feel like crap all the time. And that's what it's about. Like that. But the thing is, like, no one's talking about it, but your energy is the core of everything. Like, that is the core of your fulfillment and of your just quality of life, especially as you get older, right? When you get younger, you kind of take it for granted, but as we get older, you know, and a lot of people, their energy solution is drinking a pot of coffee a day, or 2 or 3 energy drinks a day, or whatever it is, 4-hour energy, right? That's their solution to the problem, and that's just making their problem way worse. But I know if you're watching this, you're smarter than that, right? Or you wouldn't be watching it. And even if you are doing that, you know that's not right, right? So I think that, you know, when we internalize that and when we grasp it, I feel that, you know, that's something that has the power to just change how when we start looking at the world through that lens. Like, that is, like, you start to see what's really going on, right? And you start to see things differently. So look, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Look, if you ever don't know what to do in life, do the opposite of what the masses are doing, because they're almost always wrong. And if you'll start looking at the world through that lens, you'll start seeing the world in a different way. I guarantee it. And you're going to start seeing the world for what it really is, and you're going to bring you to a level of awareness that you're going to be able to make better decisions and not fall victim to the ignorance that most people are falling to, right? And it's just, you can go back and watch the video on day 48. I think it's day 48, 47, 48. I'll post it below. Anyways, just check it out below. But look, guys, if you find value in this, I'd appreciate it. You know, it would help me out tremendously if you'd give this a like. If you leave me a comment, it would help me out even more, and I sure would appreciate it. Look, guys, that's all I got for you today. If you ever don't know what to do, or if what you're doing is not working, just do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. figure that game out and go in that direction and see if you get different results, because we can't get the same results if we keep doing the same thing that everybody else is doing that's not working. Hope you guys have a blessed day.